Hey everyone, Alex Ionescu here. Welcome to Investor's Guide to the Galaxy. Google AI documents leaked. We have no moat, and neither does OpenAI. Why is this a good thing for Facebook from Meta platforms? Let's find out why Meta platform is a potential winner here and Alphabet and Microsoft not so much. Although before we start, if you find this video helpful, it would mean a lot to me if you crashed the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and takes just a split second. If you want to show more appreciation, consider subscribing to my Patreon. Now, let's dive right into it. Alphabet stock price. Year to date, up 18%. Past year, down 8%. Past 5 years, up 91%. Microsoft stock price. Year to date, up 29%. Past year, up 13%. Past 5 years, up 217%. First, a few words about who is competing in the AI artificial intelligence wars. Alphabet's Google is a technology company that specializes in internet-related services and products. Google has developed several AI models such as BERT and T5. ChatGPT is a large language model developed by OpenAI. It is based on the transformer architecture and has been trained on a large corpus of text. Microsoft owns part of OpenAI, so we can put these together. OpenAI and Microsoft partnership. And third one, Meta Platforms is a technology company that specializes in social media and related services. Meta has developed Llama language model, which is open sourced. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman says the age of giant AI models is already over. Sam Altman says the research strategy that birthed ChatGPT is played out and future strides in artificial intelligence will require new ideas. Speaking of giant AI models, let's read this article on natural20.com. Google AI documents leak. We have no moat, and neither does OpenAI. But the uncomfortable truth is we aren't positioned to win this arms race, and neither is OpenAI. While we've been squabbling, a third faction has been quietly eating our lunch. I'm talking, of course, about open source. Plainly put, they are lapping us. Things we consider major open problems are solved in people's hands today. While our models still hold a slight edge in terms of quality, the gap is closing astonishingly quickly. Open source models are faster, more customizable, more private, and pound for pound more capable. They are doing things with $100 and 13 billion parameters that we struggle with $10 million and 540 billion parameters. And they are doing so in weeks, not months. This has profound implications for us. We have no secret sauce. Our best hope is to learn from and collaborate with what others are doing outside Google. We should prioritize enabling 3P integrations. People will not pay for restricted model when free. Unrestricted alternatives are comparable in quality. We should consider where our value add really is. Giant models are slowing us down. In the long run, the best models are the ones which can be iterated upon quickly. We should make small variants. And here is a chart with large language models, all compared with ChatGPT. Bard is at 93%, Vicuna is at 92%, 1 week apart, Alpaca is at 76%, and Llama from Facebook, Meta Platforms, 2 weeks apart, it's at 68%. What happened? At the beginning of March, the open source community got their hands on their first really capable foundation model as Meta's Llama was leaked to the public. It had no instruction or conversation tuning and no RLHF. Nonetheless, the community immediately understood the significance of what they had been given. A tremendous outpouring of innovation followed with just days between major developments. Most importantly, they have solved the scaling problem to the extent that anyone can tinker. Many of the new ideas are from ordinary people. The barrier to entry for training and experimentation has dropped from the total output of a major research organization to one person, an evening, and a beefy laptop. That's amazing, right? In both cases, access to a sufficiently high-quality model kicked off a flurry of ideas and iteration from individuals and institutions around the world. In both cases, this quickly outpaced the large players. These contributions were pivotal in the image generation space, setting Stable Diffusion on a different path from DALL-E. Paradoxically, the one clear winner in all of this is Meta. Because the leaked model was theirs, they have effectively garnered an entire planet's worth of free labor. Since most open source innovation is happening on top of their architecture, there is nothing stopping them from directly incorporating it into their products. The value of owning the ecosystem cannot be overstated. Google itself has successfully used this paradigm in its open source offerings like Chrome and Android. By owning the platform where innovation happens, Google cements itself as a thought leader and direction setter, earning the ability to shape the narrative on ideas that are larger than itself. The more tightly we control our models, the more attractive we make open alternatives. Google and OpenAI have both gravitated defensively toward release patterns that allow them to retain tight control over how their models are used. But this control is a fiction. We cannot hope to both drive innovation and control it. While Alphabet has a problem competing in the AI wars, Mark Zuckerberg is doing pretty good. Mark Zuckerberg says AI boosts monetization by 30% on Instagram, 40% on Facebook. Further integration of AI helped drive Meta's first revenue increase in 3 quarters. Reels monetization is up over 30% on Instagram and over 40% on Facebook on a quarterly basis, as AI plays a large role in the platforms. Time spent on Instagram went up 24% since Meta launched AI-powered Instagram Reels. Generative AI is going to also help create more engaging experiences, which should create more engagement, Meta founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg said on the company's earnings call Wednesday evening. And that by itself creates more opportunities for advertisers. I want to point out something interesting. Meta Platforms Facebook is very different than Microsoft and Google Business. How is it different? It's a platform where people register to interact with one another. A social platform. It's very hard or almost impossible to compete with the moat Facebook has right now, including Instagram and WhatsApp. Maybe Elon Musk's Twitter can compete. We will see. To emphasize what a great position Facebook is in right now, let's hear this from Codie Sanchez, and she is spot on what's happening right now. She says audience is the new leverage. Before this, the leverage was labor, capital, and code. Now it's the audience. Companies, people who have big audiences earn big. Let's hear her out.
So the reason that I did this, when I told my mom that I was going to start a little blog, and that I was going to go online, she kind of lost her mind. She's like, what's wrong with you? You have like a PhD, you got an MBA, what are you doing on the internet? But what I realized really quickly is that audience is the new leverage. I stole part of this from Naval Ravikant, so I have to give him credit. But he has this thing that basically says leverage is the key to wealth, which I think is true. No one man can go very far. It's the African proverb. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you need to go together. And so there are 4 tiers of leverage that came over many, many decades. The first was labor, right? That was old school. Slaves back in the day, all the way to employees today. And the people who had the riches, let's say the pharaohs back in the day, were those who had the most manpower, labor. Then we had capital, right? When did the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds become titans of industry? If you look at the correlation to date, it's actually when the Banking Act was established in the US. And so when money was available widely and you could get OPM, other people's money, is when these guys became really wealthy. Then what was the next realm of titans? It was when code became available. That's when we got the Bezos, the Jobs. That's because they got leverage in the form of code or an army of robots online, basically, right? And the new, most permissionless version of leverage is what I think all of you guys know, which is audience, eyeballs. This is probably the first time that we have had a form of leverage that you didn't have to have permission for. So even code, you had to have like a supercomputer back in the day or access to a Stanford lab like some of these guys did. Today, audience, you don't have to have permission. You can grow your audience on a bunch of varied platforms without a ton of capital and without somebody at a bank saying that you're allowed to get a loan. So once I realized this, I was like, oh, no, I'm an idiot to not, yes, have those first three forms of leverage, but add the fourth on it.
Now let's talk about the other two giants, starting with Alphabet, that owns Google search engine. In my opinion, it's completely naked in the face of AI disruption. You just go on google.com and search. It doesn't have a closed community like Facebook does, and that's a problem. I or you or any other person in the world can make a decision to not use Google and use something else like OpenAI's ChatGPT or Bing search engine which uses ChatGPT. If you want to stop using Facebook, it's not that simple because you have your family there, friends, business, groups and all, and it's very hard to let that go. Do you agree? Okay, Alphabet is not that naked. It has YouTube and cloud business. YouTube is kind of a community. In my opinion, Google Cloud and YouTube are two essential revenue streams expected to play a significant role in Alphabet's future. Without those, Alphabet stock would be plummeting right now or in the near future. So keep this in mind when you evaluate Alphabet's stock price. If Alphabet can grow these two businesses, it will be great. I'm not going to dive into detail about Microsoft because the business is kind of complex, but I want to say that they are much stronger than Alphabet right now. I'm just going to take a quick look at their revenue streams for you to see how different they are and how Microsoft is more resilient compared to Alphabet. Similar to Alphabet, they have a small community that is still growing on LinkedIn, but it's a blip on the radar compared to Facebook. Microsoft's revenue breakdown: 3% others, 6% search advertising, 8% gaming, Xbox, 4% devices, 12% Windows, 4% enterprise services, 34% server products and cloud services, growing fast, 7% LinkedIn, growing but slow, 23% office products and services. So you see, they are pretty diversified. That's a good thing for a company. Who do you think will win this AI war? Alphabet, Microsoft, or Meta platforms? I'd like to know your opinion on all of this. Please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please smash the like button so that other people like you see this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you that watch my videos. See you next time.